Precision Sourcing presents key insights from their 2020 Data Talent Survey.
I thought we'd start with the punchy one.
The punchy one, yes. Obviously, as you can see on the left, females are very, I suppose, the minority versus males in the data market. I think when we did this last year, which you can see down the bottom, or not last year, 2018, God, time flies, it was 24% representation of female gender, and it's now decreased to 18%, which is unusual because obviously we run the Women in Data network, and you'd think that we'd have more conversations with females, which I think we do, but I don't know what's happened there. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it surprised me because I was thinking if any recruitment companies diversity is going to have increased, it's going to be ours because of that Women in Data network that we've run for 5 years. So to see it decrease, we don't have the full statistics under it, but it's concerning because of the amount of effort that people have been going to in the last few years to increase gender diversity within their data teams. To see it decrease could suggest a number of things, that these plans and initiatives aren't working. Whatever reason, you could point to all the things that people try and put into this debate around, well, maybe women don't want to work in data positions or X, Y, Z, but at the end of the day, companies have been trying to broaden gender diversity. We'd have at least expected it to stay the same.
Yeah, I see a lot of companies that have those, and this is probably shooting myself in the foot, but having a lot of those diversity plans, inclusion, and they talk a lot about it, but I find we never hear about like what they've done and how it's improved. So maybe that the execution part's obviously still in the making, and we don't expect it to change right now, but maybe the execution, storytelling of execution would be good.
Yeah, and look, there are people who've done it well.
Yeah.
We're not going to name any company names today. We're going to mention a few clients along the way, but there are definitely people who've done it well, but there's obviously a hell of a lot of work to be done in that space as well.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, it's not a huge difference, but they're more likely to be men in contract positions. We've had to think about this for a couple of reasons. Number one is maternity leave. Women in being the primary caregiver most likely are going to want a permanent position. Yeah,
just like obviously mat leave, and then you can come back to work, and the stability, the security that you get maybe from permanent versus contract maybe.
Yeah, exactly. On the flip side, men, if the woman is the primary caregiver, then the man might be the primary breadwinner. There is a little bit more opportunity to earn slightly more in contract at times, so that could be a reason as well. But yeah, this is going to be something that's going to be discussed for years to come. We're going to get into some other diversity discussions later on as well, not just about gender. We are big believers in diversity of thought being necessary within data teams, but we'll get that later on. But in terms of the gender pay gap, this is something that everybody talks about, but it's nice to visualize it.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think obviously the massive thing on the left here with the yearly earnings, it obviously takes a bit longer for women to maybe jump into that 100 to 125 mark. I don't know whether that's like maybe women just thinking that their worth is a different sort of worth versus men, or they've got more punchy conversations going on as a male because they're just like, well, this is all generalizing, by the way, but I might as well go for it and just see what happens, even though I've got 2 of those things and there's 10 on the paper or something like that. So that could be a reason. Obviously then when you get past that 125 mark, it seems like a good bracket of females are in that higher end earning bracket.
Correct, but then you get to the top end, and so what you've got nearly 40% of men earning over 150. You've got just over 20% of women even earning over 150. So whether we like it or not, there is a gender pay gap.
There is. Yeah.
Simple. The reasons behind that, that's not what we're here to debate today. Obviously, we can sprinkle some of our own insights into that, but yes, we can get into the debate around, okay, so women maybe go on maternity leave, they leave the industry, they come back, they find it harder to get a higher salary. Not saying whether that's right or wrong, that's just maybe what it is. Like you said, Emily, we speak to a lot of women who feel that they are fairly remunerated, which the graph on the right clearly shows, which surprised me. And I'm wondering whether that's just because women don't think they should be earning more. I don't know what it is.
We could speculate a lot about this, but I don't know. I think maybe it's just the fact that they, like you say, they might come back from maternity leave and they feel, oh yeah, this is all right because I've had time out of the market, which obviously shouldn't be the way it is, but it is. And obviously men, I think maybe they're just always a bit more like, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Aggressive?
Yeah, aggressive, that's the right. Yeah, maybe they're just a bit more punchy and, to the point and blunt, generally speaking.
Yeah.
I'm looking
think we get the conversation as well is, again, bring it back to it, and social norms is that the man is the primary breadwinner.
Yeah.
So they need to earn more in certain situations. So they go and have that conversation. Then if you see your friend, who's most likely in data to be a man, earning more, you're going to go, oh, well, I should be earning that. And then it's just kind of spirals like that. But it was surprising that women are more likely to be satisfied with their salary, especially when considering they're not earning as much. So a lot of work to be done in this sense, in terms of salaries.